Guys, this is just another quick and dirty update. I'm on my phone. I just finished work right here at the piano. Yeah. So I wanted to do a little update on how I've been doing with trying to have meal discipline. It's actually been really good the last several days, like about the last 2 weeks, actually, since my Grand Canyon trip, like last week and headed into this week. I've been at least mildly in ketosis most of the time from both fasting and trying to keep my carbs under 30 to 50 grams per day, and just kind of getting back into counting my carbs instead of kind of guessing or not really bothering or thinking, oh, I'll do a big workout later, and not really counting them. So been back to counting carbs, and it's been great. The energy level is so much better. My brain works so much better when I'm not addicted to not even sugar anymore, but just regular carbohydrates, when I'm not a sucker for an apple or a bowl of oatmeal. Not that those aren't good foods. Those are great. They're really, really great if you're going to go spend that carbohydrate energy on a great workout. But I wasn't always doing that, and I was overeating those things, and then my body was trying to process them and couldn't process any of the fat that I'm trying to get rid of, and it was dragging my energy down. So they're a costly energy source, but they're really, really worth it if you're going to use them the right way. So yeah, just for me right now, not so great. So for me this last week, a lot of eggs. I did a big crock pot chicken thing. I put like 4 chicken thighs in my crock pot and just been munching chicken all week and drinking broth and trying to keep my eating window really, really tight. I have been a lot more disciplined with that. And what I found was that sleep, again, is key. I had a massive nap on Saturday. I think it was like 3 hours long, and then another 2-hour nap on Sunday. And this is great. I felt really good, but I'm also really frustrated with this because I don't like that somehow I end up in sleep deficit all week long, and then the weekend when I maybe want to spend more time with my husband or get some reading done or have some leisure time, I have to sleep to catch up, as well as sleeping at night. Oh, there's another video I want to make, though, on how to get yourself to go to sleep, and it's been working for me really, really well. I need to kind of experiment with it a little more and think about it, and it's totally an idea that I stole from someone else, but I'll link to all that. But that's been really great. So I am excited about some developments that I'm working on with sleep, but once again, they're really essential. So, for example, on Saturday, sleep is really essential. I woke up to go to ballet rehearsal, and my keto strip was negative. Despite fasting for a long time the day before and really, really watching my carbs, like pretty sure I was under at least 40 grams of carbs the day before. And, I had biked to and from work, I'd done some walking, I'd taken a ballet class, I'd been physically active. So, I had about 48 hours to try and get into ketosis, but I wasn't in there, and I was grouchy, and I looked puffy in class. Came home from class and rehearsal, where I got nice and sweaty and out of breath. That was really nice. And slept for 3 hours, woke up to a nice pink strip, and I felt so smiley and happy the rest of the day. My husband could totally tell the difference. I came home and I was super grouchy, and I said, I just want to punch everybody. You know that feeling, like nothing is great. Nothing, I wanted to argue politics and the horrible state of public education, and like anything that I could argue about, I wanted to argue, and I wanted to eat everything. Fortunately, I am getting enough experience that I knew I just needed to lay down for a little bit, so I did. I went and lay down and woke up and was happy and positive, and everything was fine, and I was in control, and the world was wonderful. Goodness, sleep is important, at least for me. And then kind of the same thing Sunday. So what I need to figure out is why I'm not getting enough sleep day to day through the week or at night. I'm working on making bedtime more consistent, and I don't like trying to catch up in the mornings because 90% of the time that means I miss ballet class. And that's my thing that I do right now for me, is go to ballet. So if I need to sleep in so that I feel good, but I miss class, I'm missing out on working on my goals as a dancer, working on or missing out on being a dancer, missing out on the social aspect of class, which is kind of my biggest social thing. You know, I don't really have friend groups outside of ballet and outside of work and outside of church, which may or may not be healthy. I don't know. I don't really care. So I need to not miss class. So I need to work on sleep. Okay, that's good. Hey, but the meal discipline has been way better this week. Lots of eggs, lots of chicken, lots of broth. I did overdo the dairy a while ago. I made homemade yogurt, and that was awesome. And it tasted really good, and it continued to taste really, really good. And then the container was empty. So I do know that too much dairy, whether it's the carbs in dairy or just something else that dairy does, I do know that that kicks me out of ketosis for a while. But just something to be aware of. So I really do feel like I've improved though with my meal discipline, keeping the window tight and keeping the content of the food friendly to my production of ketones, even if they lighten up a little bit. You know, this morning I still had a nice bit of pink on my strip. Okay, but then today was a little bit difficult. I didn't feel the most rested yesterday, and I had a lot to do despite it being Memorial Day. I had just lots and lots of projects to do. Was working on those all day long and then got really lazy in the afternoon. I didn't mess up what I ate, but I probably ate a little bit too much. But it was from being tired. It was from not either sleeping enough the night before or not getting my mid-afternoon nap like I really wanted to. There was a point I was cutting fabric for ballet skirts, and I just laid back on the floor for a minute and just thought I could sleep right now for 3 hours. But I can't. I don't have time. I have to get this cutting done. And that's the moment where my body went, okay, fine, we're gonna eat a bunch later. So that's just how it works for me. So today was a little bit harder. I think I got enough sleep last night, but I don't think I caught up from not feeling rested on Monday. So today was a little bit of a struggle, and I maybe went a little bit overboard on carbs. I'm probably closer to 60 or 70 grams today. I try to be really, really careful. I had 2 giant English cucumbers, like longer than my hand, and an apple, and lots of cheese. And so I've been eating like my eggs and my chicken, and I felt like I needed a little bit of an extra fiber day with a low meat consumption day. So just trying to balance out all the animal products I've been eating with more plants today, but still trying to keep the carbs low. But the apple I think maybe sent me over. Had some handful of nuts. So just the way I'm feeling right now, I don't think when I test my ketones tonight that I'm going to be in ketosis. I'm about to do kind of a ballet workout right now. I want to work some muscles and get some cardio in, and then I have about a 2-mile walk home. So that'll probably help a little bit, but it's probably not going to put me in ketosis this evening. I might be back in tomorrow. I don't know. Okay, all this to say, I think I'm finally figuring it out, because I'm not very good at logging every little thing. Like, I drank this much water, and I peed this much water, and I weighed this much, and then I ate this much, and I've tried to do that, but sometimes I'm at work when I eat, or sometimes I feel like fasting longer, or sometimes a fast that was going to be an intermittent fast of 20 hours ends up only being an intermittent fast of 16 hours. And I guess it's just that my physicality is so different day by day. If I knew I could be in ballet class every single morning, and I knew I could be in bed every night by 9 o'clock, and if I knew that my energy output was going to be really consistent through the day, it might be a little bit easier. But some days I move a lot and I'm really physical, and other days I sit at this piano for 6 hours. And I still try to walk and work out around that, but that's just kind of how it is. But I'm working on dialing it in. And this summer I'm going to be dancing a lot with a really consistent schedule, and I'll talk more about what's coming up this summer. I know I already said that already, that I would talk about it more, but I will. So I'm hoping that having a consistent energy level or energy output there will help me get really consistent with what goes in. I'm going to be living away from home, I think rooming with somebody, so I'm hoping that I can, have like the same meal a day and just tweak it. Should we have 4 eggs today or just 3? Like getting that precise. Um, anyway, and then that can help me when I come back home, just kind of dial it in. So yeah, more about what's coming up this summer later. And then another thing that I am going to do really soon, actually starting tonight, is I want to make a 3-day fast video. Not like a daily update, but one where I have my other camera. This is on my phone. And I just kind of follow myself around and say, it's hour 15 and this is how I feel. I'm going for a walk and this is how I feel, 20 hours fasted. So I'm going to be doing something like that. If not starting tonight with the fast that's currently going right now, then definitely in the next couple of days. So yeah, the discipline thing is getting easier. I've just kind of had to come at it in my own way, and I hope that I don't yo-yo on this as well, because there have been times where I've been really, really good, and then I'll just break down and I'll just want to eat rice and oatmeal every day. And I think that breaking down comes from sleep. Just to circle back around on that. And I realize this whole video is very, very circular, but thank you for watching. It helps me to get my thoughts kind of out there. And, if you leave me a comment or something, maybe help me organize myself a little bit better. I have been watching Cole Robinson's videos. He's the snake diet guy. If you watch him as well, he's gone back to eating break fast, so a meal at the earlier part of the day and then waiting, I think he says like 7 to 8 hours or whatever before doing a full body workout, and either doing that every day or doing that every 2 days and then doing like a 48-hour fast and then working out every 48 hours. And he says that he's keeping his strength and it's all going really great, and he talks about tweaking your macros, so how many carbs do you need based on how lean you are. And what he keeps going back to and arguing with people about is what the cavemen did, or what a lion does. And, instead of saying they would have hunted all day and fasted all day and then eaten at night and then repaired themselves, that's what he was saying, 3 months ago. And now he's saying the caveman would have got up, hunted something down and killed it, and then, done some more hunting later. Or he would have eaten something that he'd killed the day before and then go out and go hunting. And while I agree that it's cool to kind of speculate on what people living in the bush would have done or are still doing, I don't think their days were that consistent. I think that they maybe went out when they could and they killed something and they ate it and they saved what they could, depending on if they had to travel or not and what time of year it was. And they ate when they had food, and when they didn't have food they fasted or ate what else was around. I guess if they didn't have meat, they ate what they could. What they don't have that we have is a constant supply of every single kind of food and fake food, like frankenfood, things full of preservatives and tons of sugar. They don't have access to that. So even if they feasted for a week straight on a giant kill, they're not overeating protein, because that's really hard to do. And even if they did, even if they were storing extra body fat for a month or two, it was all coming off at some point in the year. And they were a lot more physically active, which is the daily work of life. Like, even if you think about, if I didn't have a washing machine, if I had to sit and scrub clothing for 2 or 3 hours, even once a week, my upper body would be built a lot differently than it is. So while it's really interesting to speculate about what our ancestors did, I don't think we can set down exact rules about they ate at 11 o'clock and then they went hunting from 6 to 7 p.m. Not like we do with that rigid schedule. So, hey, I'm making a little video, so I'm going to sound like I'm talking to myself, okay? Okay, it's my friend Lindsay. And is the music player off? Do you want me to turn it off? Or I can... Okay, great. All right. Yep, thanks, Lindsay. Okay. Yeah, I love working here. I'm going to miss it for the summer. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that. And that's why for myself I feel a little bit better about being a little bit flexible. I have been eating, between like 4 and 5 some days, and then starting my fasting app at like 5:30. But actually this last like 3 days I've been eating between noon and 2. And then I'm doing a workout later, or maybe not, or maybe I did my workout earlier in the day, or maybe I did part of it in the day and part of it later, you know. But for me, the biggest thing has been working on not eating too much and eating the right stuff. Like, if I can keep my carbs really, really low, I'm just going to focus on that. Okay, sleep and keeping the carbs under 30 to 50 grams for the next little bit and see where that takes me. Except for this upcoming 3-day fast that I would like to do. I just kind of feel like I need a little bit of a reset. I don't know how much of it will be dry fasting, probably a big chunk of it because I really like that. I like the convenience of not carrying water around, and it's really great. I have this over here, this bag. It's my bag that I carry with me everywhere. This is just pink salt and then the no salt brand, which is potassium. So I make sure I get a little bit of this about every hour, and then I drink when I feel like drinking. This ensures that I have enough salts, and then I'm not drinking so much that I'm urinating out all of the salt that I need. So I always feel good because I always have enough salt. And then sometimes that means I'll dry fast for 20 to 30 hours without even thinking about it because I have enough salt and my body is producing metabolic water. Yay! Probably more about that later. Okay, totally rambling here. Thank you so much for watching, and please acknowledge that this in part is just a big journal for myself, and as always, please feel free to watch on double speed. That's all I have. Happy feasting, happy fasting, happy dancing.